Uh, so I was just going around on the internet. I saw this Colin Noir video about this guy trying to talk down some guys stealing his shit. He's just stealing his car. He came out with the Galil and he took care of the situation, de escalated it, but also had something to protect him in the process. And Colin brought up a point that in some states they would consider this an escalation of force. I believe that if you're stealing someone's car, it is the same as stealing someone's horse. As in, you should die, frankly. Um, a car, for some people, means a lot to them. It could be the one thing that gets them to work every day and they are on like liability insurance or something where they if their car gets fucked up or stolen, they're kind of just shit out of luck. So I don't know how else to put it other than that, because no one wants to be in that situation. And frankly, if someone was stealing my fucking car, I would take a gun in my hand, point it in their fucking face, and tell them to get the fuck out of my car before I blast their shit out. Because I'm fine with cleaning off bloodstains. I am not fine with having to chase down my fucking car. Whoever the fuck takes it upon themselves to say that someone else's hard-earned property is theirs, you deserve to get your shit clocked. Whether it's someone knocking you the fuck out, or you're the unlucky son of a bitch that comes across someone like me who frankly doesn't give a shit. See, there's a lot of things I'll resolve with just hands. But the second you cross boundaries to the point where you're threatening my livelihood and my possibility of having warm meals, I'm gonna just fucking shoot you. If it's something that could be resolved with just a fight, I'll fuck you up. But if you're coming to steal my property and what's mine, I'm assuming you're armed too. I'm putting a gun in your face before you can even fucking know what is even going on. Because genuinely speaking, people in this day and age have no respect for one another. And it is fucking absurd. I grew up in a state where if you even fucking threaten a man the wrong way, you're liable to get shot. Texas. I'm gonna put it that way. In the state of Texas, I could very easily walk up to someone stealing my property and I could put a gun in their face and tell them to fucking stop what they're doing. Because if it's my property, the law is going to take my side. But if it's where I live now, say Utah, they're actually probably less liable to help me. Even though these two states share the same political party. How the fuck does that make sense? And I'll tell you why it doesn't make sense and why it actually does, kind of. It's because the Republican Party is a bunch of lying retards. Texas has good gun rights because Texas is Texas, not because they're Republican. Texas is just full of people who understand that I don't like the government. We shouldn't like the government because you want to know why? Texas was founded upon its own revolution, separate from the United States. The Tejano Revolution. Like, I'm pretty sure most people in history class were taught this, but unless you don't know, the Alamo happened. And that is a big reason why I believe, frankly, guns should always be legal. Because if there's ever a day I have to tell a motherfucker come and take it, I'm gonna fucking say it. Because on no fucking planet should you, as a motherfucker, take it upon yourself to tell other people how to live, to steal their property, or to do any of that shit, but we're fine with the government doing it. How the fuck does that make sense? The biggest thieves in our country take from us every fucking day under our noses with our sales taxes, with our property taxes, with our gas tax, with our income tax that is actually done like 3 separate fucking times. So, let me put something into fucking perspective. So, your paycheck gets taxed about 2 to 3 times, I believe, before it actually even comes to you. And then it's actually taxed when you use it to buy anything. If you want to understand how our fucking country has fallen so hard, our country was founded because a bunch of people didn't like that there was a tax on tea and felt that they were taxed unfairly without proper representation. We don't have proper representation. We have a facade of representation. There is no such thing as proper representation in America. The only times I've ever felt properly represented by anybody in this country was one good public defender. One. And he actually didn't even take on my case because we went with a different lawyer. Which sucked because that lawyer sucked. But genuinely speaking, representation in America is so hard to come by because we don't teach Americans how to fucking win anymore. We don't teach we the people proper. We the people. Let me understand you something about the Bill of Rights. It's constructed the way it is in case of a revolution being necessary, to point to the government and say their hypocrisies if they bring up a law that violates it. There's a reason you should be taught that in every school. If you're not being taught the Bill of Rights, that's a fucking problem. Because the Second Amendment is probably the most important fucking thing in there. Do you know genuinely why the Second Amendment is there? The organization of a well-regulated militia. In the cases of tyranny, that is not the only purpose of firearms. The way it is written is shall not be infringed under any circumstance for a good fucking reason. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This is in referring to all weaponry, not just firearms. This accounts for knives, swords, in my opinion, should account for fully automatic handguns, submachine guns, rifles, possibly shotguns if the AA-12 is in the picture. And explosives should be legal as well. At least full power explosives should be legal. And my honest opinion on why is not so our country turns into a terrorism cesspool. It's so if the government decides to get a wild hair up their ass, so to speak, in regards to us, we could turn the White House into a fucking pile of rubble in an afternoon if the government steps out of fucking line. The people who founded this country knew technology would advance. They knew that as a society we were going to progress politically. Even though a fair amount of the founding fathers were slave owners and fairly hypocritical, you have to remember the select amount that were abolitionists. Since our country's founding, there are people who have truly understood what freedom means. Freedom for every man, regardless to religion, race, sexuality, sex, gender, any, like, whatever fucking construct you use to divide was meant to be taken care of. The things that held us back in America were the faults of a previous nation that we held on to way too fucking long. The UK are a bunch of fucking Nazi fucktards that should have their heads caved in. Fuck the royal family. Fuck the United States government. Fuck the United Kingdom government. And fuck, frankly, every single government on the face of planet Earth. That has been my TED Talk, motherfucker. Ding dong, I'm